The Devil's Fairground is a ghost horror movie. And with this movie, you're in for a doozy. So, super quick plot just to really get to that review. Basically, like ghost hunters who I have no idea because the story is classy. More into the review. But yeah, basically, I think they're real ghost hunters, but then it's like, are they fake ghost hunters? Regardless, they get tipped off to this fairground, and then they go to this fairground where all hell breaks loose. And that's the movie. So, my review of The Devil's Fairground. So, the first 35 minutes of this movie is easily one of the worst movies I have ever watched, that I would put up there with Sharkenstein. I would literally say it's horrific, it's horrible. From acting to writing to, I don't know why this whole movie, they altered the frame rate of the camera and it just looks choppy and it gives you a headache, to the shitty special practical effects, to just nothing was good about this movie the first 35 minutes of it. I wanted to turn it off so many times, but I wanted to be true to my reviews and just watch it to give an honest review. Because even watching Sharkenstein, I at least kind of enjoyed it because, some of the stuff made me laugh because it was so bad. But that was a movie made bad on purpose. This movie, I don't know what I was watching. It was just very, very bad. And then, with that being said, you get to the abortion part when they get to the fairground, and this becomes almost a completely different movie where it becomes good. It is like really good practical effects, costume design, blood. The acting continually stays absolutely ass. But, it literally becomes a whole other movie. I don't know if that's on purpose or if just the people who did the production and practical effects and all that were just on such another level than the writers and actors that it's a clusterfuck. It's weird. Like, if you scrap the first 35 minutes of this movie, which was absolute nonsense and not needed, it maybe made it like an anthology short and just maybe gave it like a 5-minute intro to them just getting to the fairground, and then you just do everything they did in the fairground, you're looking at high level product. But instead, they have some horrible writing and horrible acting thrown in with some like super high level, top level practical effects and costume designs. And some of the production was like super good with like the lighting and the colors at certain parts. I don't understand why they wanted a shitty movie kind of fused with a good movie instead of scrapping the shitty part and just making a really good movie. I honestly don't understand the direction for this movie. Also, whoever thought it was a good idea to lower the frame rate on the film for the whole movie, that was stupid. Don't ever do that. That shit was giving me a headache, man. That was easily one of the worst things about this movie. Like, made no sense. But with all that being said, let's get into my recommendation, which honestly is the doozy part. Until we get to the fairground and the abortion part happens, because even a couple minutes into the fairground, it's still horrible. I would say this is easily one of the worst movies I'd ever watched in my whole life. And to stay as far away from this movie as humanly possible. But then it just turns up and it gets good. And some of the stuff that they do should be seen. some of the costume designs were like pretty top tier. So, my recommendation would be if you watch this movie, skip the first 35 minutes. I know no one's gonna do it, but trust me, you would thank me, and then you would just be into the good part of the movie. And it's pretty decent throughout the whole movie, but the acting is still pretty shitty. That was my cats. They're so loud when I do these reviews for some reason. It's like they wait. So yeah, I've already talked way more about this movie than I would like because it is pretty horrible, but then it gets pretty good. So I guess I would kind of recommend it, but only up to the 35-minute pass mark.